This meeting to order, 10:32. Review and approve SLFRF and LATCF funding items. I'll turn that over to you, Grant Brady.
Fantastic.
What do you got?
Well, we've had some additional expenses on the chillers at both places that were not a part of the original $640,000. And so I just wanted to bring those forward and let you know what they were and what the reasons, and see if you wanted to include those in the SLFRF. So the first one is an expansion tank here at the courthouse. It was downstairs, and I guess the PT valve was, I contacted CSN and figured out what this all was, and was it in the original scope. So the PT valve down there was under more pressure than it should be, so they needed to put an expansion tank downstairs to make sure that it didn't explode and cause some damage down there. That's $9,872.72. So it has been put in, and it was sent to me, but it was not a part of the original cost, although it was kind of an emergency thing. It's like it's going to go, and so that's why Randy said, yeah, go ahead and put it in. The other was, again, going through and doing the things that were approved. An air handling unit number 4 over the top of, I think it's cell block. No, I can't remember which cell block it is. Over one of the top of the cell blocks, there was a starter on that air handler that needed to be replaced. And again, it wasn't part of the original scope, but it was in the process of doing the repair work. And that's $4,514.39. So the two of those are $14,387.11. The original HVAC set aside was $640,000, and so far there's $158,455 not spent on that. So if you're okay to approve that through there, we can. The overall $800,000 set aside for county. There has been $692,000 of that allocated to other things, which leaves $107,000 left for just in cases through the end of next year. So that's kind of where we're sitting on that fund. So there is the funding that's available for this, but I need to get approval before
these we can roll in with the 640 set aside for those projects.
Yeah,
and still be under so far what we
And you
spent.
said the total was 14,3 what?
$387.11.
I'll move to approve the additional expenses under that line item for these two additional parts for a total of 14,387.11.
A second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that gives you what you need for that.
Perfect. Okay. Next will be the LATCF. So in the overwhelming amount of moving around and chaos that happened with the budget thing, there was some things I had some concerns on, and I did find some that were not in the approval, so that's part of the conversation today. So this is after watching all of the budget meetings, going through all the minutes, going through the information that Tammy and Timmy gave me. Here's kind of where I'm sitting. Kind of where I'm sitting on what that fund looks like. So these are all what has been approved that I know of. The dollar amounts that have been approved for each one, and then kind of broken down into each of the departments. So this spreadsheet has that there is, well, I'll go down to the bottom and kind of show you where that is. The bottom, it has the two trenches that were put into there. That first line is how many has been approved, how much money has been approved out of the total allocation. Then there's the two funds that came in, the 8.1 million. The balance after those is 2,900,000, and that difference of actual spent is as projects complete on a different tracking sheet. Then I pull overages or unders, and there's only been like one that was over $300. But everything gets pulled into that of projects completed, money left over. And so there's 31,000 of what was approved that has not been spent and won't be. That can come back into it. So that green line, the actual balance is $2,936,965.77. So that's with what's here, and that includes these, is what what that fund has in it for the remainder. So what I need today, there's 4 things in here on yellow. The first one is up at the top, the wage study. I didn't have a dollar amount on that. If you guys have a dollar amount, I just wanted to kind of put that on your radar of when you have that, let me know. But I know that hasn't come through yet.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to verify, so I have library remodel / office space, and I have things coming in as library, but it wasn't called that in the minutes. So that 5,000 set aside was for the law library, correct? Okay, because some of things reference Tammy's office, so I didn't want to assume too much and think that, if there's something else
Been
going on.
converted into.
Perfect. Okay, so then that is correct. So down on the first thing that I wanted to get approved is under the sheriff's office, the second line, the 2 patrol vehicles. I did get in an additional invoice for radios, and that is $5,471.64. I talked with Under Sheriff Stutzky about it and also with Raycom. And so this is specific to the 2 chargers. It was additional radio expenses that they needed that wasn't in that 101,000 that was approved previously for the 2 chargers.
Do they have any other funds or grant monies that?
The only other thing would be if the other vehicles, the other 6 that were approved through LATCF, once those are completed and purchased, then there could be money left over in that would offset this. That is a bit down the line, so it would be either putting this off, having them pay it, and then reimbursing them if that's something. So there's a lot of moving parts with here, but this 5,000 is specific to the 2 chargers, and that is the question. Do you want to approve additional? Do you want to put that into the 300,000 set aside for the 4 patrol vehicles? Do you want to have them pay for it? How would you like this additional 5,400 treated?
I kind of think that they can. I know they get a lot of grant money sometimes for their radios, equipments, and that. I would prefer to find it paid for somewhere else, but and then if not, we can look at reimbursing it if this was necessary.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Strong opinion on that either way?
No, I agree. I would think that, we can have them look at it on their end, and then if they can't, then they can come to us.
Okay, would you want to put that in the form of a motion?
I'll move to let them decide where they can in that budget or find other grant monies to cover those radios. I think they've been pretty blessed with what they've got on vehicles.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Under the Silver Express, so this is just kind of an FYI, and then also, so down a little bit further, that one's not highlighted, but it's just one line under the sheriff's, between sheriff and solid waste. So this is a 4-year match that was approved previously for 120,000, so 30,000 a year. I did have a question on that because in going through what was moved from the FY24 budget, there is 25,000 a year set aside for the bus. So that was already pre-approved, and I wanted to make sure that when you wanted me to start using that, is that as of now for our October starting budget year 24, or did you want me to go back on that? Because I have it tracked, but I haven't moved anything out of general for FY23 for that. So that would be kind of a question for everybody.
Do we need it for 23 or were we okay?
23, I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Suggestions?
Not this time.
So if it's 24 and beyond, that is 4 years of match for the Silver Express bus.
We did budget for it. And, community projects, wasn't it? I didn't bring it.
I'd
up.
I'd have
We
to
talked
look,
about that,
but,
Yeah.
I
know
was,
we budgeted 25,000 for it because it used to be, somewhere else and we had to move it, so I'll have to look and see. If so, then we would just have to
So we'd be
do
better
it
off.
by year, we wouldn't,
Right, so
Yeah.
it has been, I mean, it was moved, it wasn't the FY '24 moved to LATCF, so that was a part of it in the '25. There was the 30,000 a year budgeted, so I guess that's just,
we haven't got all of our final, we just got quarters 2 and 3 today. We put those in, so, so I don't know where we're at until we go through that. And
Okay.
So as soon as we know, then we can see where we're gonna move that March from.
perfect, all right. So that was just an answering question. Now we have two others to review and or approve. So under moved from budget, there's the lease payoffs of $163,343. Their solid waste came in a couple times with two lease payoffs that they had asked to come through the LATCF, and that was for the CAT and for the Freightliner. And the first time it was tabled, and then the second time there was some conversation, but there wasn't any approvals done. When I was going through all of the information, what it looks like happened is that the moved from budget, so inside of that 163,000, there's 58,360 that is for solid waste. What that looks like to me is lease payments instead of the payoff amounts. The actual payoff amounts are these two down in yellow at the very bottom. So that's $154,680.54 if I calculated the interest out through the payoff time on that correctly. So that's kind of where I'm looking right now. They were expecting lease payoffs, but it wasn't a formal approval. We've talked about it. There's lease payments put in the budget, but not lease payoffs. And so it would be a difference of, somehow I should have a difference. Somewhere I might have a difference, but basically 100,000.
we were saving money by paying them off.
Correct, because they have, let's see, so the Freightliner, which is the 93,000, has another 2 years worth of payments on it. And the dollar amount for, that up there. That's the CAT. I'm not sure what the CAT has on it. I don't have that here. But it's $5 a day, and the interest on the CAT, I want to say it was like $9 a day, $9.61 a day on the Freightliner.
So what we're doing is we're taking what they budgeted this whole year in lease payments, and we're putting that towards us, and then we're paying off the rest with the LATCF.
Correct.
But did they budget for those?
Yeah, they budgeted for them, so we're gonna take what they budgeted this year, would pay towards, and then
Cover what's
whatever's left over, pay
Yeah.
that off,
Separate.
so that they don't have
Okay.
to
I believe.
budget it
That's
next
your
year.
understanding.
Right. So it would be a difference of, oh gosh, what is it, like 96,000, basically the 100,000. So they have the 58,000 that was already in there. And then we just need to make up the difference between the 154,000 and the 58,000 to pay them off. Then they're done.
Because I'm pretty sure the cat lease is due in September or October, so it's already been paid. I know that one has. I'm not sure on the Freightliner though.
The agreement says like August, so it may have already been paid in August.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
That would be an
It is close.
additional 100,000. Give or take, for the expenses.
So with, and I put that in now, I also put the 5,400 for the radios in there. But making the difference between the lease payment, these numbers that I'm gonna give you took out that 58,000 out of this, added the 154,000 for those two and the 5,400, which leaves an actual balance of 2,989,000. Actual balance, is that right? Added those in.
Is that correct?
That's not. I don't know what I did with that.
Kind of what-
2 point, it'd still be like
Divide
2.9
calculator, keep it
million,
here.
36,000.
That's what we'd have left.
Correct.
Allocated,
Yeah.
or not spent.
With putting the 2 lease payments in. Oh, yes, it was. That's why it was more. Okay, had to backtrack my math here. So by taking out that 58,000, that basically drops this down. This total is 2.936 on your page. That drops that down, that 58,000. So that adds that back to that number. That's why I have $2,989,854.13 with the lease payments being moved to pay off. But that does include the 5,400 for the radio, so it'd be a little bit more than that. Sorry about that blonde mental math there. Had to remember what I did with the second page.
It's not like you have enough numbers.
Okay, so you need a vote to approve that.
Yes,
Okay.
if that's the direction that you want to go.
So I'd entertain a motion, if either of you is interested in making that motion, that we would be paying these off early.
Okay. I'll motion to pay off the leases early with the amount budgeted that they have credited towards that, right?
Correct.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will second that, is saving quite a bit of money just paying those off.
$2,000. Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries to go ahead and do that.
And what I did is calculated the daily interest through 12/15. So by adding those, that would be the payoff.
And what's that, due to our actual balance now?
Well, and then I'll have to add the 5,400, but $9,289,854.13.
$2,900,000.
39,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I can get those coded, and then today, that's it.
That's it?
So we've got to guard it, but we've got 2.9 still.
Correct.
We've got to stretch it, I guess would be a better way of saying it.
I guess the only other thing I would add is I've gone back through everything and looked at what was approved. And so the numbers on here, if there's something that you see that you feel should have been on here, I used what Tammy had put together on the moves, the dollar amounts, which is specific down here at the bottom, the move from budget. These were what I received through the budget moves. So if there's anything that you're seeing that is not on there, then please let me know.
Up here, it's up here under DOCC. Okay.
Correct.
Why was virtual meeting and recordings in pink?
That was taken out of the LATCF and put into the SLFRF.
Aye, okay. Okay, anything further? Does that get you caught up?
Do.
Questions from the board?
No.
Questions or comments from the clerk?
I have a couple.
Okay.
So on the copiers, Brent came in, stopped by my office yesterday and said that he has not received the purchase amount for some of the copiers. One of them, I guess it was just one in particular, and it's for the one that's gonna go up into the main clerk's office at 304. We did not get paid for that one.
Which
It was the prosecutor's old machine, it's $3,000. And I don't believe the probation one was purchased either, for 3,500.
No, the only- I've talked to him extensively.
They told us.
He is the only one not paid for because it wasn't anywhere in the budget. I told him we have to find out where we're
That's
at.
been- Well, actually, it is in the reports on it, but it is in there.
Yeah.
These.
It was not
This is
officially in the
documented
meeting
everything.
on our previous ones, so that's told him we had to bring that up to get that one approved.
Okay, so we need to add that one. And for some reason, the probation one wasn't purchased.
Yeah, all of them should be paid except for that one that would go into the new office.
Okay, because it's here and sitting there, but we
Mhm.
haven't bought it yet.
Yeah.
And we did pay off the.
And I told him he was welcome to take it until we got it approved. He's been calling me every day, so I understand. But I told him this last one, it was not approved, so it has to come before us it was not included in all the others. Because we didn't anticipate at the time
How much is
having
it?
that.
$3,000.
Okay.
And then, for some reason, the probation machine also wasn't paid off.
I'm gonna talk to him. Yeah, it was.
Not according to Melissa. I checked with her this morning.
Oh, through the lease company?
No, this is the ones that we purchased then from ABC.
No, we'll get together and look at that because he keeps bouncing numbers around then. So, from my understand, it's
I'm just
completely
going by
paid.
this.
Actually, we overpaid by $4. When I went back through and re-added it, we only needed to pay $36,985, not $989. So we overpaid by $4.
Okay, and then, she also, we paid off the brand new machines, they're done. So that was good. And the maintenance agreements, she was gonna put that together, but I need to go back and look at that. to see what we did with that one.
Yeah, we'll go over it extensively because I've been over it time and time, and then the numbers get
sitting up
changed.
there.
So
But he said it hasn't been paid. I don't know.
he has been.
And then, the other question I had is on the library remodel. I don't know where we're at on those expenses yet, or where we're anticipating ending up, but what are we doing about the furniture currently? Is that included in that 5,000, or should we start looking for it? Randy initially said it'd be done by the end of the year. So I wanna make sure what is done, we have a plan for furniture. Currently, we need 2 desks, and he said he would, build the credenza thing like I have upstairs now. There's a
Okay.
countertop.
Yeah.
And, what's the other thing we're gonna need? He's gonna build the files, bookcases above, rather than purchase.
And you're gonna take your file cabinets with you?
Yeah, I only have 2. And then one under 2 or 3 underneath, which will go right under the countertop is.
The person who will be utilizing your space, do they have
Yes.
funds in that grant to furnish their office?
Nope.
They don't.
To furnish that office?
Yeah,
Yeah.
chair.
The island.
That's the
Okay.
idea. Some of
Okay.
it.
And I say you take what's yours and they can furnish out of the other grant.
My desk is really old.
Is it okay?
And hers-
All of them are, yeah.
I don't know how you can get it out there.
I
It's
think
huge.
they built around it.
That's
Especially that.
Could be.
Yeah.
And hers out here, when you open up some of those file cabinets, they fall
I was
out.
gonna
They're
say, I
very
mean-
heavy. That is a piece of junk.
I need something for fun.
We,
Well, let's-
transfer station has a 4-drawer
Okay.
tall one that is just sitting in our shop right now. Anybody can have it.
Okay, is it legal size or regular?
I would have to look. And then
We
we
don't want a
also
legal
have,
size because we don't have anything, we don't need that big.
we also
You
are
don't need
gonna
legal?
have a couple of the two drawers that are short.
That'd be nice too.
And,
Okay.
one of them has no lock on it and one of them has a lock on it. Cause we're kind of I'm trying to get things
Super. We'll talk to me.
cleaned up and shelve it where those are at, cause we don't need all of those.
Perfect. So really, I think the only thing we need is 2 desks.
So how about,
And I'll talk to Terry Douglas about it and see if he's got any.
I'll find out if, where we are with the expenses and if we need to consider adding some more money in there to cover it so that you have a working office. Okay,
$938.96 has been spent on the 5,000.
so why don't
We also have carpet coming, I know, and paint, and they're doing the electrical and the internet.
So why don't we, if it's all right with the other commissioners, I'd recommend we allow her to go ahead and get the 2 desks, knowing that if this thing ends up going over 5 was a guess anyway, and if we have to add another 1,000 back in for something, we could do that. Because we've got to have a functioning, the whole goal is to gain office space, so there's no way to do that without spending money. Is that all right with the commission?
Yeah.
I'll motion we go ahead and allow the purchase of a couple of desks with the idea that if this line item goes over, we'll revisit it.
So moved, or, seconded?
Seconded?
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right, so you can go ahead and keep rolling, so we're not waiting on furniture when it comes time. Because we don't want to have to move Timmy's desk. That would require a chainsaw. Okay, any other questions? Timmy, anything? Okay. Commissioners, anything else for Colleen? Okay, public question or comment?
Can I get a copy of what was handed out to you?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Thank you.
Is that it? All right, with that, we are adjourned.